himself. He just absolutely drains that one.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Everett and Lake Stevens, we'll help you find what you're looking for and offer friendly advice too. Owners Greg and Christine are all about serving their customers and their community. They support local high school sports and many other community organizations and events. So the next time you need help with your to-do list or project around the house, bring it to Ace. They'll greet you at the door and help you find whatever you need fast. Show your support for locally owned businesses. Shop Ace Hardware just off Highway 9 in Lake Stevens and Everett Greenway in Everett. Ace is the place for the helpful hardware folks.
Ho, ho, go. I think my ride's due for an upgrade.
There's more than one way to fly. Great deals all month long at the Dodge Black Friday event.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. They are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Yeah, I put a little circle next to him if you want to go down.
Yeah. And we welcome you back to Snohomish High School. Todd Helvig with a taco time in one hand and saying, hey, you're on the air with the other hand, and here we go. It's ready for game two of a doubleheader here between the Prairie Falcons and the Snohomish Panthers. Welcome to the Keith Gilbertson Sports and Fitness Center, the campus of Snohomish High School. Tom Lafferty along with Joel Boyer. Alex Klossi is on the stats. Todd Helvig feeding his face to my right, and we're getting set for this game between the Prairie Falcons and the Snohomish Panthers. Joel Boyer, we talked before the first game between Union and Glacier Peak that we wouldn't be surprised to see all four of those teams maybe make it and see them in the Tacoma Dome coming up first week in March. The team in gold right here just now finishing up their warm-ups probably will see them. We wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe as far as the quarters and the semis.
I think you're
going to call it?
I'm going to hold my judgment until I watch the first quarter because I didn't get to watch them last night. But knowing what I know about this team, about the players on it, about their destinations in the future, about their coaching staff, having coached against coached against her when she was a player, this team looks pretty destined. Just watching warms, this looks like a pretty put-together team. So I'll tell you at halftime. How about that? I'll tell you how far I think this team can get.
Okay, he'll make his judgment at halftime. So stay tuned for that. Las Vegas, hold the phone here.
Yeah.
So we're talking. That's the Prairie Falcons. How about the Snohomish Panthers and their injury? The injury bug has bitten them early here in the season.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Losing Kyra Beckman, their all-state returning post to an ACL tear in June. She's obviously out for the season. Just kind of
and a BYU commit, right?
Absolutely, going to BYU. She's a senior. She's unfortunately not going to suit up for the Panthers again, but still a part of the team. Little sister Kaylin's a junior in the program, still playing, obviously. But this is a team also that just as of Monday night when they lost to Glacier Peak had an unfortunate injury to their star wing Kinsley Gallatin, their number one defender. Missed the second half of last third of the season last year with an ACL tear. is back, cleared to play full, rolled an ankle. She's not out for the season or anything like that. She's just out this weekend. Coach Ken Roberts said, let's rest you. Let's not chance it. We need you for league starting this coming week. So they're down a couple starters. One they knew about, one they didn't know about until just the last couple days. But the Panthers are still always going to be well coached. They're going to be prepared, and we'll see what happens.
And we mentioned the first game of the doubleheader. These are RPI games.
Absolutely. Yep, these games are great non-conference preseason games, if you will, but you want to play great ones. Win or lose, you want these on your record so that when the RPI really comes to fruition later in the year, when we start getting to the end of the season, these games really start to matter. And they may not matter as much now, but they matter a lot later. So win or lose, either team, you want to have these big games on your schedule.
And let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Prairie Falcons. They'll start Allison Corral, Kendall Carson, Brooke Walling, Mallory Williams, and Cassidy Gardner. For the Snohomish Panthers, they'll start Ella Gallatin, Kayla Soderstrom, Avery Alba, Maya Duchesne, and Heather Bartlett. Those will be the starters for Ken Roberts and the Snohomish Panthers.
Courtney Perry, I think, starting there instead of Bartlett.
I changed it last minute. That's my bad, Tom.
And then Alex, who reached over, scratched it out, said, oh, no, it's this girl that's starting. Well, no, it's not. So here we are ready to go. First game of the doubleheader went to Glacier Peak, 59-44 over the Union Titans. And we're getting set for the Prairie Falcons and the Snohomish Panthers. Chad Gallagher, Pat Kaminsky, John Brown are the officials here this afternoon. Our presenting sponsor today is Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens and Everett, Rairdens Dodge Chrysler Jeep, and our scoreboard sponsors brought to you by G&S Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Timeout sponsor today, McDaniels Do-It Center of Snohomish. We're getting set to go. Rairdens Dodge Chrysler Jeep of Monroe is proud to be an automotive leader in your area since opening their doors. Rairdens Dodge Jeep Chrysler of Monroe has kept a firm commitment to their customers. They offer a wide selection of vehicles and hope to make the car buying process as quick and hassle-free as possible. Rairdens Dodge Chrysler Jeep of Monroe, proud to sponsor high school sports, and high school sports underway right now, and the Prairie Falcons will control the opening tip, and they'll move to our left. They're in the gold uniforms with the maroon trim moving to our left. Allison Corral with it. Goes to Williams, turns, faces, and fires. Wow. First one, turned, face, and almost no look. She turned and knew where that ball was going.
Absolutely, and that's going to be an interesting matchup. The Panthers are coming out with number 12, Avery Alba, giving up maybe, possibly 8 inches to Brooke Walling, a post for the Falcons, who's already committed to go to Fresno State next year. So they're kind of giving extra help on her that left Matthews open for that easy 2.
Snohomish with the basketball. Perry in the corner. Shot rims off, no good. Rebound grabbed down by Prairie. Here come the Falcons leading it 2-0. We're 55 seconds into the opening quarter here at the Keith Gilbertson Senior Sports and Fitness Center at Snohomish High School. Game 2 of the doubleheader. 3-ball up, good. Bang, down it goes for Allison Corral, and it's a 5-0 lead for Prairie.
And Allison Corral, some of you might recognize that last name, Tom. That's sister of a couple Corrals that have come before. Ashley Corral, who went to USC, was an all Pac-12 performer, first teamer for 3 years in a row.
That's all?
That's all. That's all. Oh, I guess she went and played in the WNBA too for a handful of years too. But she's sitting on the bench as a coach right now, and this is little assist. We had middle sister Heather Corral, played for University of Washington over the last few years. But that's a name that you know about in girls basketball in the state of Washington. You also know they're shooters, so it didn't surprise me seeing her knock down an early 3.
A 5-0 lead for Prairie, and now they have the basketball again. Somebody's wide open. That's going to be a 3 that goes down. Allison Corral, 2 consecutive 3 balls, and it's an 8-0 lead for the Falcons.
Yeah, and that's that player that we were just talking about. You don't ever want her to be open in the corner for 3.
First 2 points of the basketball game for the Snohomish Panthers. Courtney Perry puts it up and in, but you have to make an adjustment defensively, right, on Corral. You got to put a hand in her, at least a hand in her face.
Absolutely, and the hard thing is you're looking at, there's 2 posts right there that are both, well, one of them's going on to a Division I team in Fresno State, and another one that's very serviceable already. You can tell that when you have 2 bigs like that, Snohomish doesn't have two big players that can stand up defensively per se, so you're going to have to give more help, and your guards are going to have to sink in a little bit, which is going to leave some shooters open on the outside.
Allison Corral with the foul there. Her first personal foul. And out of bounds on the far side for the Prairie Falcons. Excuse me, for the Snohomish Panthers. Panthers throw it in their front court.
Prairie sitting in a 2-3 zone, very active in that, trying to recognize and spot shooters. Appears to be their base defense.
Prairie got the win last night as they defeated Glacier Peak 54-46 over at Glacier Peak High School. A miss for Snohomish, a rebound for Prairie. A little try for some early offense. They kicked it, boy, you kick it right back out, and down goes the three, and up off the bench comes Ken Roberts, and it's a 9-point lead, 11-2 with Prairie leading Snohomish. We'll be back to Snohomish High School right after this timeout.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
This Joel Boyer Prairie team is good.
It's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. We were just talking right there on the break, Tom. You know, you can run the right defense, but when you're facing a great team, you could run the right defense, and it still end up being a negative response. So, you know, Snohomish has really got to understand that they're 3 minutes into this game, and their coaching staff understands that, and some of their players might, but all those players need to buy in and make sure that, hey, we need to execute what we're trying to do, stick to the game plan. Yes, we're down 9 early, but they've also hit 3 threes. Are they going to continue to shoot that hot all game? Probably not.
Ball went out of bounds off a miss there for Snohomish, so it'll be a Prairie basketball. And when you're that good and having that good a success, even the balls that scream off of the rim and go out of bounds go to you.
Yep. And the basketball is a game of runs. It's a game of runs, and there's going to be runs that go against you. There's going to be runs that go for you. And you just make sure you kind of weather that run, weather that storm, and understand we're not out of it. You know, be confident that you're still in it, but make sure it doesn't get too far to control.
Carson with a miss on the 3, but a reload here for the Falcons as they get the offensive rebound. They'll reset the offense, and here we go, down to 14 on the shot clock, and a backdoor laying up, and it is good by Mallory Williams.
That's a really hard screen to defend. That's a high post. Kind of little rub screen, curling off it right there by Williams. Great feed by Walling. Very difficult to defend, Tom.
And here's a good play defensively, and Prairie will steal it away and then bring it up. Cassidy Gardner down low. As God is my witness, I thought that first one was going in. The fling up over the shoulder didn't go in. The offensive rebound went in. The lead is 13 points.
That did look like it had the look of that could be something right there. Note here, the 4-year starting point guard for Snohomish, Maya Duchesne. Coach Roberts is trying to maybe move her off the ball, get a few more open looks for her. Ella Gallatin, a freshman, really talented freshman whose sister Kinsley we talked about in the pregame is out this game with a rolled ankle. Oh, boy.
Boy, another 3 balls up and good. Kendall Carson buries that one, and the lead is out to 16 points. And I'll keep it right here with 3:14 to go here in the first quarter. Ace Hardware in Everett and Lake Stevens, they will help you find what you're looking for. Owners Greg and Christine Egelstad are all about serving their customers in their community. They support local high school sports and many other community organizations and events. Show your support for locally owned businesses. Shop Ace Hardware just off Highway 9 in Marketplace in Lake Stevens and on Evergreen Way at the Claremont Village Shopping Center in South Everett. Tom Lafferty along with Joel Boyer. Thanks for being with us here on this Saturday afternoon. And we're just seeing a very, very good 3A girls basketball team in the Prairie Falcons out of the Vancouver area. Brush Prairie is where they're located, and boy, they bring it.
Well, and that's that thing. Different head coach right now for them, obviously, than they've had the long-time years of Al Aldrich,
right.
Long-time coach, and in your own words say success of girls basketball. His name's right there in the Hall of Fame record books for that. He retired a handful of years ago, but that's still he started a tradition. He started a culture there that has continued had a lot of talented players, a number of them that have gone on to big college programs, and they still have a lot of talented players.
What a move there. Mary Dunford for Prairie with the bucket. Just a little step through, turn around. There it is. It's wide open.
Well, and again, that's not even a starter. I mean, when you're able to sub and you're able to give your starters a rest and bring kids in off the bench, and you still have talent like that, so it's sometimes it's unfair. but as you get going in the season, as you get to the end of it, as you get towards the dome, you need that depth to be able to propel you to greater lengths.
Look at that 3 ball. That won't go, though, way outside. Cassidy Gardner with the miss. Snohomish grabs the rebound. Maya Duchesne will bring it up.
We call that a heat check, Tom. and that was a team heat check because she's not even hit a 3 or attempted one yet. But she thought, hey, I might as well get in on this. Let's see how good we're feeling today already.
Well, let's measure that one.
Let's throw it up there from 4 feet beyond the 3-point line. Nearly went.
A little push foul here off the rebound called on Prairie. And they will get Brooke Walling with the foul. That's her first personal foul and the second team foul. Some subs in now for Snohomish. Well, they were almost. I thought we were going to throw it in and go with the power play, but they're going to. We'll play 5-on-5. We'll stick with that. And here's Snohomish to throw it in at the baseline off the foul, so it was a reset on the 30. Duchesne in the corner. On top it goes Bree Nichols. Trying to get it back to Duchesne, but tough defense there by Allison Corral all over her. They know who to guard.
They absolutely do, and that's one of those things that you can watch film. There's not much film in this season yet, just even out there. But these teams played last night, we've already talked about. And so there's ability. Great seal right there by Courtney Perry inside. Good find by her senior teammate, Maya Duchesne. But they got to watch each other play last night. And so coaches are able to sit there and kind of scout. And just on a one-game scout, what do you see? But both were tighter games last night. It was one by 7 points, one by 8 points. You can see. So you're going to be able to kind of have a better idea, maybe a little bit of a walkthrough, if you will, and kind of scout a game plan, put that together. But your kids need to go out there and execute that. And sometimes the game plan can be great, but you can execute it well, but you're just not running with the same horses.
Claire Heichschmidt with the miss there for Prairie. Snohomish with the basketball. Inside a minute now to play in the first quarter. Duchesne tried to split the defense, and the defense was going to have none of it. They weren't going to be moved out of the way.
Nope, good job by Duchesne right there to keep both hands on the basketball. Not let that become a turnover or a steal by Prairie, but did end up in a jump ball.
Then an errant pass on the inbounds. And Corral got it. Left side now, Heichschmidt back to Corral again. 20 on the shot clock, 40 on the game clock, first quarter. Little step through, thought maybe a travel, but no call there. Reed with the miss. Reload here for Prairie. Now about a 4-second differential between shot clock and game clock here in the quarter. Corral. There's your heat-seeking missile again. It won't go for Williams. Another offensive rebound for Prairie. And now the shot clock is dead. They can play for one.
And that's, I'm sure, what Ken Roberts is going to talk about in the huddle is regardless of if things are going your way or not, you've got to stick to your fundamentals. You need to keep right there. Bree Nichols putting her hands on there, getting a foul called on the drive. Keep your hands off players. Box out. I think that's one thing we're seeing. There's already been a handful of offensive rebounds for Prairie. And when you're up 20-4, you can't afford to let them get multiple chances at the hoop. So I think that's something they're going to talk about that quarter huddle, about really trying to limit second chance points.
Nichols with the foul, first personal, first team. Dunford at the line for the Falcons. Missed them both. Down to 1 second. A long heave. Off the glass and no good. End of the first quarter, our score. The Prairie Falcons 20. The Snohomish Panthers 4. Back with the second quarter right after this timeout.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Welcome back to Snohomish High School. A doubleheader of girls basketball. The Glacier Peak Grizzlies defeated Union in game number 1. A little earlier here in the end of the first quarter, the Prairie Falcons 20, the Snohomish Panthers 4. Let's take a look at the first quarter numbers with Alex.
The Prairie Falcons went 8 of 15 from the field, including 4 of 6 from the three-point arc. Leading the way for them is Mallory Williams with 7 points. Right behind her is Allison Corral with 6, 2 of 2 on the three-pointers. For Snohomish, they were 2 of 9 for the quarter, 0 of 2 from the three-point arc. Leading the way for them is, with the only 4 points, is Courtney Perry, number 40.
There we go. Thank you very much. And it's a 20-4 score. Here's a rebound off a miss there by Prairie, and it'll be Maya Duchesne will bring it out of backcourt for the Panthers. Just underway here in the second quarter. The Prairie Falcons leading 20-4 over the Snohomish Panthers. Duchesne has it, top of the key. Swing it over right side. She'll get it back. Launch a 3. Rims off, no good. Who's got it? It's going to be grabbed by Prairie. No, stepped on the out-of-bounds line. And it'll be right back to the Snohomish Panthers. And we're bringing in the athletic director at Prairie High School. That's Jason Castro. Now, are you athletic director or are you chauffeur for Rory Rosenbaum?
Well, you know, this week, evidently, I am the chauffeur for Rory. Any day, any time.
Yeah.
Supposed to leave at 10 or whenever Rory is ready.
Yeah, one state title, and wow, there it goes, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like traveling with a celebrity. We had to pull over, sign some autographs. It's like, hey, we're with Rory and the other guy. Yes.
Who's that? That's my chauffeur.
Yes. The car will be warming up after this.
He moonlights as an athletic director, though.
Inside the bucket there for Kaylin Beckman, and it's 20-6. Let's start with the game we're watching, Jason. If you look up success in girls basketball, the Prairie Falcons are always pretty much on the top line.
You know, and so this is my 3rd year at Prairie, and I really had no idea. I knew they were good. I didn't realize how good until the last 3 years. It's been 20 years since we've lost a league basketball game. So
let's do that again. Exciting. 20 years.
20 years. So I get there and we win league, and the announcer says, "Hey, maybe we should give them a plaque or something." I'm like, "Well, why, Dave?" He's like, "Well, it's been 20 years since we've lost a game, so yeah, it's kind of a big deal." So we got them a plaque and it's hanging out in our hall.
We'll talk about your current coaching staff. We're from the day of Al Aldrich, and he was there for 708 years, I think, and defined girls basketball at Prairie High School. Talk about your coaches now.
No, and Al is fantastic. He's still around and does a lot of our summer stuff. And Hayla Corral, who's a fantastic coach. Both of her older daughters both played for Al. One went on to USC. The other one went on to University of Washington. And then one's playing here right now. So they've definitely had a basketball family, and Al Aldridge is definitely at the top of that patriarch.
Yeah, that's something we were just talking about a little bit. It's like, and you can talk a lot about Ashley Corral, who's an assistant coach down there, the oldest of the 3 daughters. She had a pretty good career at Prairie. She had a pretty good career at USC. I guess she went to the WNBA. I mean, you're like, where do you say, well, your greatest accomplishment is when you pass Cheryl Miller up for most assists in USC history, when you have the most 3-pointers. Oh, by the way, when you win the National Three-Point College Shootout title, watch that one a few times back in the day. I mean, you can start talking, and then you go to the WNBA. I mean, so Ashley Corral has been there, done that. I remember, unfortunately, having to coach against her when Snohomish played Prairie a handful of years ago, and that didn't go so well for the Panthers. But what a phenomenal player to get a watch play. And now seeing her coach, and her little sister's not too bad a shooter either.
No, and it's been awesome. And one of the biggest struggles that we have is getting the kids to realize how lucky and how honored they should be to get to work with somebody like that. And so making sure that, I took the tour of the Hall of Fame out here that Snohomish has, and it's so first class, and it's something that we need to do a better job of so that our kids really know what these people have done that they get to work with. Because it's, like you said, it is quite the honor to get to work with somebody that's been there and done as much as she has.
Well, as an athletic director too, I'm guessing part of your job is we need to if it is family or the history of our school, like you're not the first one that played here. Look what this person did 25 years ago.
Exactly. No, exactly. And that's something that we're definitely striving to always build on. And, Al Aldridge and winning 20 years in a row, and all those things that we want to scream all that heritage. And, Richie Sexton in baseball, we want him coming back and hanging out with the guys, and Ashley Corral and all those things. And
the one I always think about is Dan Dickow too, right?
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah. Dan's going to come back, and our game against Kelso this year, he's going to be the sixth man of the night, and so it's pretty cool having Dan come back and stay connected with the program.
Yeah, long time star for Gonzaga, went to the NBA, had a few years there as well. Dan Dickow from Prairie High School.
He's another guy I can drive around and chauffeur around Vancouver. So.
Well, and let's plug your other sports though. What else is going on at Prairie High School? You've got pretty good success in other sports.
We've been really lucky. We had a fantastic fall season. We have 9 fall sports, and 8 of them went to the postseason this year. And so it's exactly what an athletic director wants. It's a little bit crazy with a lifestyle when you're driving from Yakima over to Mercer Island for the state soccer tournament. Then you're going to volleyball all on the same day. But it's fantastic, and it's really cool to see these kids get to compete at the highest level and really have some success.
Well, talk a little about that culture. I think we're talking about the culture of girls basketball here at Prairie, but when you have that culture at your school of it's not just one sport that's dominant and everybody else is kind of middle of the league, when you have that culture that becomes a school-wide thing in athletics, talk about what that does just for the enthusiasm as a school as a whole for all parts. You see that kind of carry over into the arts, into academics, things like that as well?
No, exactly. And one of the things is you kind of have to reel in a couple of the coaches, and really you have to sell that we want athletes. We want people playing multiple sports, and in this day and age of specialization, we want kids playing, girls basketball and then going out for softball and showing up for track or, whatever it is. We really push that, being a 3-sport athlete and playing for your school and representing the Falcons. And you may go on to college and you may do something else in the future, but for right now, how cool is it to play for your school and represent your community?
Well, in fact, talking about community, talk about the growth of that area around Vancouver. We were talking with Rory in the first game about that too. He said it's amazing.
It truly is unbelievable. And you talk about growth, driving up to Glacier Peak, and I haven't been up there for a while, and holy smokes, there's a whole lot of trees that are now houses. And it's the same thing in Vancouver. You used to drive out there, and at least Prairie used to be surrounded by cow pasture and farmland, and now it's just house after house. And same with Rory's house. He lives like 3 minutes from Prairie. I kind of like to drive by and throw rocks at his house now and again, but it's
but it's the moat and the alligators that keep you out, right?
No, definitely. He just shows the bling of his state championship ring, and I keep right on driving. So.
Well, and we'll talk about football and basketball and this whole thing. How about the RPI and the seating committee as a non-coach, where you're looking at it from the administrative end? How do you think all that's working out?
For us, when we're in such a different spot than Union, for us, it seems we're always on the outside looking in, and it seems like it's a real successful thing. 2 years ago, our football team won 1 game. So when you talk like Rory, and he's expected to win 8-10 ball games a year, we won 5 this year, and it was a success for us. So we weren't paying a whole lot of attention on the state level because we were just trying to get things moving in the right direction for us internally. So we had a good year, but it seems like that's been a real successful thing, and coaches seem really happy with that committee.
Well, and the other thing, too, talking about it happens in college, but it also happens at high school. Facilities are so big, too.
Oh, 100%. And it's so difficult getting the time of all these programs. We have 24 programs, and trying to make sure that everybody has the adequate access to, the times and the facilities that they need is quite quite tricky sometimes.
I know, talking to the Snohomish School District's athletic secretary, that she's in charge of facilities at both Glacier Peak and Snohomish for the teams. She was saying, I love it when our teams go to the postseason, but I hate it when they overlap with the winter season, because all in the same day was, boys basketball, girls basketball, volleyball at both schools. And she's like, where do they all practice? So, I do know that administrative side's like, it's awesome. Where are we going to put everybody for practice today? But
yeah, no, exactly. We had, when volleyball was going to the playoffs, we had basketball practicing. We had dance team out in the commons. I think we had boys basketball upstairs in the wrestling room after wrestling. So we're definitely utilizing every inch of space we have.
You feel like you got a lot of facilities, so all of a sudden you got this many teams going, you're like, we don't have very many facilities anymore.
No, that's the truth.
Well, and then as we're getting close to the end of the first half here, talk about, you're from Snohomish High School, you played here. Talk about some of the coaches that you had here at Snohomish that, in fact, I said to Rory in the first game, do you find yourself yelling at a kid thinking, oh my God, I'm Dick Armstrong?
Well, ironically, Dick Rodlin rocked in, and he was my 7th grade basketball coach, and I said, hey, coach, and you probably don't recognize me, but I played for you, and he looked at me and he was like, well, it's good to see you, whoever you are. And, so it's nice to know I really made a connection with a couple of them. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, it's so cool to be able to come back, and this place is such a special place, special community, and it's really cool to see the Hall of Fame out here. And I haven't been in since the remodel, and it's really cool seeing the court up on the wall and all the Hall of Fame members, and they really do a first-class job here.
Well, yeah, there's buildings here that weren't buildings before. and now part of the old buildings are hanging on the wall of the new building, so you never know. So coming down to the final 25 seconds here of the first half, Jason Castro, AD at Prairie, you brought your teams up here and looking like pretty good success.
Well, it's been a fantastic weekend. Teams going away, playing well. I get to hang out and chauffeur Rory and see some old people, so it's been a fantastic weekend.
I think he was talking about me, see some old people.
Yeah, do you mean old people or some old I don't know. Well,
No, it's old people. That's Todd and I right here, old people. Here we are at halftime. Our score at the half, it's the Prairie Falcons 32, the Snohomish Panthers 9. We'll come back. Second half action coming your way right here on STSPN.com.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks.
So I get called down to HR. I told them Tinseltoes started it. I was working on that all-sled drive system with that front axle disconnect when that idiot blasted me with the grease gun. So I call him a half-wit, which is being generous. He tells me to go elf myself. Elf me? Elf you, pal. Then he kicks me in the sugar plums. Well, I got me a lump of coal with his name on it. Believe that.
Ho, ho, go!
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Everett and Lake Stevens, we'll help you find what you're looking for and offer friendly advice too. Owners Greg and Christine are all about serving their customers and their community. They support local high school sports and many other community organizations and events. So the next time you need help with your to-do list or project around the house, bring it to Ace. They'll greet you at the door and help you find whatever you need fast. Show your support for locally owned businesses. Shop Ace Hardware just off Highway 9 in Lake Stevens and Evergreen Way in Everett. Ace is the place for the helpful hardware folks.
you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Welcome back to Snohomish High School. The Prairie Falcons leading the Snohomish Panthers 32-9 in a non-league Wesco basketball game on the girls' side. Tom Lafferty along with Joel Boyer, and Alex Clausius has a look at the first half numbers.
Thank you, Tom. The Prairie Falcons went 11 of 22 from the field for 50%. They also went 5 of 8 from the three-point line, and from the free throw line, they went 3 of 6, which is 50%. That's my WSU math coming out for you right there. I know that one. Leading the way would be Mallory Williams. She had 9 points. Everyone kind of chipped in for the Prairie Falcons. Behind her, Ashley Corral with 6. Brooke Walling had 4. Claire Heidschmidt had 5. Kendall Carson had 3. Mary Dumford had 2. And Kylie Diaz had 1. And can't forget Cassidy Gardner. She also had 2 points. For the Snohomish Panthers, they went 4 of 21 from the field, 1 of 10 from the three-point range, and they did not attempt a free throw in the first half. They had 3 people who chipped in scoring-wise. Courtney Perry with 4. The mysterious number 34 that we do not have a number for or a name for with 3 points. They banked in the three-pointer. And then Kaylin Beckman chipped in with 2 to end the half. Tom?
And the mystery is solved.
Ooh, who is it?
Freshman Annika Hansen.
Ooh, there we go. Now I can sleep tonight.
Oh, good. We want you to be able to sleep tonight, Alex. Annika Hansen, a freshman, plays JV most times but has been playing really well lately. I wanted to bring her up on a day that there's not a JV game, so she'll be able to get a little extra time here.
So back underway here, the Prairie Falcons.
Buddy Patrick and company.
And Olivia are getting some airtime here. Prairie with the basketball. They're in the gold uniforms with the maroon accents, and here's a 3 ball that will not go for Cassidy Gardner. One of the rare misses for the Prairie Falcons here in this ball game. And here's another steal. And the lane is up, and it is good for Prairie's Kendall Carson. And immediately Ken Roberts says, let's call a timeout as the lead is out to 25 points for the Prairie Falcons. Let's talk about the if you're Ken Roberts, besides wanting to think like, well, I'd like to go home, well, what are you saying to your team?
Well, these are the opportunities that you have to really coach. You're not going to see him get fired up. You're not going to see him yell. You're not going to see him. You're going to see him get on players about individual fundamentals and say, regardless of the score, this has to happen. You need to box out. Regardless of the score, you need a 2-foot jump stop. You need to pass with 2 hands. Those are things that are staples in that Snohomish program. And so those are the things you're going to see him not get fired up, but really expect and hold players accountable to, knowing that this is, let's be honest.
They're not going to win.
They're not going to win this game.
No.
But he said this is going to be the core things that we're going to take from this. We still need to find some positives that we're going to take from this game. And it needs to be seen in our fundamentals, because those are what are going to carry over for the entire rest of the season that we're going to need. They're going to benefit us. And this game, even a drubbing, is going to benefit us if we can learn from it. We can learn that against great talent, we're still able to do these little things and execute these plays.
Here's a 3 that won't go. Outside jumper by Kaylin Beckman. That's a miss. And Prairie will bring it down.
And right there for the Panthers, you want to see that get into the high post, get that kicked opposite wing, get an open 3-pointer, and they did. So that's a positive.
And they go immediately back door and in for a lay-in up. Brooke Walling off the assist by Allison Corral. It's 36-9 the count.
And what a great move by Walling right there. And again, maybe even a better feed by Corral, because that's definitely a time and you got to drop that in over top of that fronting by Courtney Perry for the Panthers. Real pretty pass, catch, and finish.
So Snohomish with the basketball. They're in the red, moving to our left with the white numbers, white trim. Gallatin now to Duchesne. She'll turn, face, and fire. It won't go from about 14 feet away. Missed by Maya Duchesne, and the rebound grabbed down by Prairie's Mallory Williams. Up the floor to Gardner. Has it. A little runner by Gardner, won't go. And it's Gallatin grabs the rebound for the Snohomish Panthers. Gets it back, little give and go, but it wouldn't work. But a rebound, back up. No, that's a miss as well for Courtney Perry. And the ball went out of bounds. Last touch by a Panther. It'll be Falcon basketball.
I think one thing I'm also going to look for in the Panthers here is their energy level. This is a really difficult game to come back. A tough loss last night to a good Union team, a tough 7-point loss. You're down a player right now in Kinsley Gallatin, who you expect to be here, and she's going to be back next week. What does your energy level look like? What is your what's the bench look like in excitement and in some being invigorated and still cheering on your teammates and your program and saying that this is not a game that defines our season. This is a game that's going to be a part of our season. And how do we react to that? Well, it's a game that you'd like to see this game being played again, but if it is, it's going to be in the Tacoma Dome. Absolutely. And if everybody makes it to the Tacoma Dome, then we're all very happy. Snohomish opens up league play, or actually continues league play. Have they played one already? Cedar Crest. They did. They played Cedar Crest. They played Meadowdale on Tuesday and Mount Lake Terrace on Friday this week. So those games count. Absolutely. And that is still a weird thing that I'm getting used to, Tom, saying Cedar Crest is a league game?
Yeah, well, how about a girls' game on a Tuesday, too? That's changed this year, too.
That's going to throw me all year long.
And I've got a few years on you, too. It's going to throw me a lot longer than that. Snohomish with the ball, down 38-9. Trying to force the ball underneath. Bodies on the floor. Oh, they're going to call a foul in there.
Would that be akimbo?
Arms akimbo. And I think they're going to get Heather Bartlett. No, check it.
I think they're going to get Williams right there for Prairie. Bartlett is the beneficiary. Inbound it to her.
Yeah, Mallory Williams with the first personal, but a takeaway here, and Prairie with it. 4:40 to play, third quarter, up 38-9. Snohomish has not scored here in the second half yet. That's just a good move, and then a good offensive rebound. Surrounded. Wow. Right there, Brooke Walling missed, got it. She's got 10 points in the game, and there was nothing but red shirts around her. She got her own rebound, put it back up and in, despite a quartet of Snohomish players around her.
Well, and she's listed at 6'2", Tom, but she's playing more like I would say a 6'4", 6'5" person, which it maybe does only sounds like a couple inches, but in girls basketball, that is a massive difference. But she is a very talented player. Letting that three fly right there, look pretty comfortable with that. And she's going to Fresno State next year, and starting to really see why you'd want her on your team as a college player, as a college coach, because she definitely appears to be the real deal just from what we're seeing in this small sample size.
Fresno State, WAC?
Yeah, WAC.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it right.
Well played. Unless they went to the mountain sports and we didn't know about that.
Mountain West.
The Mountain West.
Or the what? WCC? No.
They're not the WCC. As a Pepperdine alum, Tom, I can promise you that.
So here's a shot. That's a good-looking shot. They're just not going down for Brooke Walling a couple times out there, but she gets her own rebound. Trying to find her again. Ooh, a little offline and out of bounds.
Oh, the lefty right there was sealing Courtney Perry for the Panthers, and it was about to be a left-handed dump in, but just passed just a bit outside.
What do we got for turnovers, Alex?
For Prairie, they have a total of 8 turnovers. Snohomish has 5.
So cleanly played ball game.
Yeah, and you're seeing the Panthers are taking care of the basketball. They're just not able to get very many good shots right now that allow them to get back into that.
That one comes off the side of the rim, no good. Alba with the miss. And Prairie will bring it up.
I'd also venture to guess the Panthers have very few offensive rebounds compared to the number of defensive rebounds that the Prairie Falcons have.
The runner, that's a miss there for Gardner. Here's Duchesne with it. To Beckman in the corner. Back to Duchesne. Starts the dribble. 2:41 to play, third quarter.
Prairie's been playing that 2-3 zone all night, Tom, and they've been very successful with it, limiting the Panthers to only 9 points. But you can just tell they're very comfortable. They move really well within that. They talk really well within that.
Maya Duchesne, 3 won't go, and another rebound by Walling. Quick outlet pass to Gardner. Doesn't have the numbers. Back to Walling. Off it goes, and down it goes for Walling.
That's a pretty shot, Tom.
Wow.
That's a pretty shot.
That is a D1 shot right there.
Yeah,
I know you don't like saying D1, but that was a D1
Well, we
shot.
talked about that. When you go to the level that you can play and impact it, and I'm watching Brooke Walling right now, and the impact she's having on this game that I see is very transferable to that Division I level.
43-9, Snohomish shutout so far here in the third quarter. We're inside 2 minutes to play in the quarter. That's Maya Duchesne back out for Beckman, who will put it up, and there's the first points of the second half.
Seen too much. Seen too much.
Well, let's keep it right here during the timeout.
Sure.
As Coach Corral calls a timeout for Prairie Falcons. She's got to keep coaching too. You can't just turn it off, sit back, and have a red Auerbach cigar and think, okay, we got this one in. We got to play on Tuesday as well.
Well, and you watch right there. Whether they're talking about the defensive part or they want to come down and have a special play right now, it looks like assistant coach Ashley Corral is drawn on the whiteboard right there, just talking about here's what we're trying to get, here's what we need to do. And you need to find those coachable moments regardless if you're winning or losing or if it's a big difference, whatever it may be. You need to make sure those are coachable moments. You didn't come up here to Snohomish for a weekend of 2 games to experience this, to not coach and kind of phone it in. This is something you want to find those opportunities to get better through a lopsided win, but get better through those individual moments.
So give me the coaching tree again, the Corral coaching. Who's who?
I believe it's Hala Corral is the mother.
Right.
And her 3 daughters, as far as I know, there's just the 3. I could be wrong on that. But the 3 daughters that we know of, Ashley Corral is seated to her left. Is her assistant coach, who played for Al Aldrich at Prairie. Graduated back in 08, I believe. I think graduated from Prairie in 08. And went on to play at USC and was a first-team All-Pac-12 player for 3 years there. All-time leader in three-pointers, all-time leader in assists, yada, 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 played in the WNBA. Her younger sister, Ashley's younger sister, Heather Corral, just finished up her career, I believe, last year at University of Washington. Had a great career there, doing a lot of good things, had to battle through some injuries, and kind of was bit by that, but was still such a talented player, again playing for Al Aldrich. Then he retired from Prairie, and I believe Hala was the coach that took over for him, and then now Ashley is back, her daughter helping coach her little sister, Allie Corral, on this team, who's a junior right now for the Falcons, number 4.
Miss there by Courtney Perry for Snohomish. Little run here for the Panthers. They're down now 45-14. We're just now under a minute to play in the third quarter.
And I think if you're Al Aldridge and retiring after, it was 25-plus years of coaching at the same school at Prairie and being very successful, number of state championships in there. As AD Jason Castro talked to us about, 20 straight years of wins.
Still haven't. They haven't lost a league game
in 20 years. So when you start talking about that consistency in a program, when Al Aldrich retires, you got to believe for him you want to try to pick somebody or have someone come in that's going to keep really nice little backdoor runner right there for Maya Duchesne, a little reverse lay-in. But if you're Al Aldrich, you want to have someone who's going to maintain that culture that you've worked so hard for so many years to create, the winning culture, but also that continuity, that consistency. And you can't think of, if you're going to grab someone, it might as well be probably the girls basketball, the first family of girls basketball in Brush Prairie, Washington, the Corrals.
Little runner won't go, down to 11 seconds to go in the quarter. And it'll be out of bounds at the baseline. And it'll be Prairie to throw it in. Up by 32. Looking on the inbounds. Lost the defender, maybe with a little bit of a shoulder action too. Mary Dunford got to put the shoulder out, put the defender on the floor.
Yeah, Duchesne went flying right there. It was a great ball side cut that Duchesne had to react last minute to and kind of wore it a little bit while she got a hair out of position, but was able to find herself back into it.
2.9 to go on the inbounds. Little runner. Won't go for Maya Duchesne. End of the third quarter, our score. The Prairie Falcons 48, the Snohomish Panthers 16. Fourth and final quarter coming your way next right here on STSPN.com.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200-plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Here we go, 4th and final quarter, our doubleheader of girls basketball here on STSPN today. Union and Glacier Peak in game number 1, and Glacier Peak got the win over the Union Titans by the final of 59-44. Here it's been pretty much all Prairie Falcons leading the Snohomish Panthers 48-16. Runner that won't go. And it'll be control. Well, I was going to say Snohomish. I couldn't get Snohomish out before it's a 3 launch that won't go on the outside. That miss there for Mallory Williams. And a reload here for Prairie. Swinging to the left side. Heitschmidt goes in, stepped out of bounds. It'll be Snohomish basketball. Let's get the stats that Alex has.
Yeah, for the third quarter for the Prairie Falcons, they went 7 of 14 from the field, 2 of 5 from three-point range. Of course, leading the half, Brooke Walling had 9 total points in the quarter. For the Snohomish Panthers, they went 3 of 13 in the third quarter, 1 of 7 from three-point range, and it was led by Kaylee Beckman. She had the three-pointer.
48-16, a minute now pretty much into the 4th and final quarter. Beckman top of the key, offline, won't go. Another rebound, grabbed down by Mallory Williams. They're sweeping the boards.
You know, Tom, when you start looking at teams that are going to go into state, and I didn't give you my halftime prediction on how this team could do. I'm glad you forgot about that. But you start looking at you talk about the NBA, which I don't really enjoy watching. But you talk about like the big 3. You want to have 3 stars that can all be focal points on any given day. You shut down 1 or 2, you can still score. It really is true at all levels of basketball. You want to be able to have, if you have 1 scorer, well, what if you have somebody who can shut her down? Well, you have 2 scorers, there you go. But if you want to go to state and actually be productive and do something at the Dome, you need to have 3 scorers. You need to have, 4 or 5 kids that can all be gritty enough to be playing, whether they score or not, but be gritty. And I look at this team of Prairie, and with Brooke Walling, their 6'2", body in the middle, who just can shoot outside, can finish inside, as strong as a lefty, just kind of poses even a little twist for some people in there. I mean, she is the true scorer. Mallory Williams, oh boy, number 13. Then you're talking about their Portland State commit, Cassidy Gardner. I mean, what a player she is, and I don't even think we saw our best game at all tonight, and yet she's just able to do certain things. You say the comfortability with the ball. Corral shooting, I think up to 4 already. I mean, there's other players we've seen come off the bench that have been impact players. And remember, this is a Snohomish team that has had a lot of success.
Oh, yeah.
This is a Snohomish team with players that have had a lot of success. This isn't just past teams. Now, they are young this year, and losing Kyra Beckman in the offseason, losing Kinsey Gallatin just for this game. Again, she'll be back Monday practicing. She practiced a little bit this week, but not enough for them to want to play her before leagues. But this Snohomish team is no bad team. This is a team that's going to grow all season long. But this Prairie team, wow, I am really impressed with this team, Tom. It will not surprise me to see them in the state semifinals, and who knows past that.
So you think we'll see them Friday night down at the Tacoma Dome, if not Saturday night in the Tacoma Dome?
I just left it the semifinals, Tom. Don't put words in my mouth. But I'd be more impressed if they didn't make it to the semifinals
than
if they did.
I'd
be like, wow, that was a heck of a matchup. Or who was it that got them there? Because I just look at this team, and they're built pretty darn impressive. They have shooters, they have defenders, they have size, they have length, they have quickness, kind of all the things you need to find success there.
Smarts.
Absolutely. And great coaching.
That's pretty much the whole package, isn't it?
Did I list it all? I thought I got the Bill Belichick, Greg Popovich, recipe for success in there.
And they got Jason Castro too.
They got Jason Castro as the head.
Someone's got to schedule the gym.
Somebody's got to have keys to the gym and the bus.
Someone's got to drive the vans. A la Jason Castro. He's getting a lot of good work in with Roy Rosenbach chauffeuring this weekend, I guess.
That's right.
Just practicing.
So this will be controlled by Snohomish. 4:44 to go, 48-16. Well, and it's also now as we watch Prairie, and they'll be in the west, of course, that huge West Central district when it gets to the district tournament. It's a team that I don't usually maybe going to pay attention, but you're going to look for scores.
Absolutely.
Oh, Prairie won again. Oh, Prairie won again. Oh, Prairie won again.
Yeah, yeah. Now, let's just point out the fact here. You got a Snohomish team right now, down by a lot, but they got 3 freshmen on the court right now. And they don't look like they're – I mean, the whole team's in a little overmatched tonight. Let's be honest with that. But they don't look like they're out of place, that they can't hang in this, they can't compete with this. When you have 2 juniors and 3 freshmen on the court, that's good. I mean, that bodes well for the future of your program. Even a loss, you're able to get those players varsity time in a big game like this. It lets you build for the future as well.
So Snohomish going with Gracie Van Asche. With the basketball here is Avery Alba. Looking over the far corner is Annika Hansen, who we didn't have on our roster initially. That's Hansen there. Shoots. Side of the iron won't go. Save from going out of bounds. That's a Jordan Beckel who gets it up and in.
And what a nice backdoor cut by Hansen. Missed that 3 ball, but didn't quit on the play. Her teammates were able to keep it alive, and then she backdoor cut right there. Was found by Beckel. Nice little feed. Layup up and in. It's things like that you want to see, that you want to encourage, you want to find those positives you talked about earlier for Ken Roberts. Well, that's a positive right there. Getting some freshman minutes in there and then actually find some success at things, that's an awesome thing.
And we've got there are no freshmen on the varsity roster for the Prairie Falcons. They're playing a lot of juniors here now, as Kendall Carson is out there. Going to the free throw line. Oh, we don't have a 21.
She's got a point and made a free throw.
Also out there, Mary Dunford is a junior.
When you look at this Prairie roster, Tom, it only has 1 sophomore. No freshman, 1 sophomore. I mean, they're built for the here and the now. For seniors, I think 3 seniors that are all starters and difference makers and leaders on this team for them, and then a bevy of juniors. They're built for this year as well as next year, it looks like.
Probably expecting let's make a run. Get the couple of key trades right at the deadline, December 31st is the trade deadline in I think the Greater St. Helens League.
Yeah. Oh, the trade or transfer deadline, don't say those words. Do not say those words.
51-18 with 3 minutes to go.
And no, you cannot trade or transfer in high school athletics. Some people are probably out there thinking, Tom, that we've lost our marbles.
No, you haven't been to the Metro League lately. Did I say that out loud? What?
That was your inside voice that came out right there.
53-18. As the Panthers with the basketball now. Alba. They'll swing it to the top of the key. Gracie Van Asche. Here's a long outside 3 ball. Air ball offline, won't go. Cheyenne Rogers with a miss. Ball went out of bounds, and it'll be, Snohomish will keep it with 6 on the shot clock. 2:21 to play in the game. Down to 3 on the shot clock. Long, and it'll hit the rim, so they're going to say, Snohomish got it back. So there will be a shot clock violation, and it'll be Prairie basketball, the final 2:14 of the game. Prairie on Tuesday plays WF West. On next Friday plays Camas. They'll play in the Surf and Slam over the Christmas break, Christmas holidays.
Oh, is that a tournament? I thought it was a rivalry game. I was like, that's a sweet rivalry name.
Surf and Slam tournament down in Scripps Ranch in San Diego, right?
Yep, that's correct. It takes place in a lot of different venues and gyms down there.
That's a big tournament.
Yeah. The only problem with it is a lot of times you have Washington teams that all want to get out and get to some sunshine and end up playing each other.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times you look at that, and teams around here you have, Bothell and Eastlake both go down there. They're playing each other in league play the first day they get back, and we both won and lost the right time, or the wrong time, so now we're playing each other in the tournament.
Free throw won't go. A miss there for Kylie Diaz of Prairie. Clock was moving there, but that's okay.
It's the tea time. That 5 p.m. tea time.
Yeah. Hometown scoring. Let's just shave this off here a little bit.
I know the hometown score, and I don't have a problem with what he's doing right now. And I'm pretty sure neither do either coach have a problem with it.
No.
This is a game you definitely want to come out injury-free. Take a few things from it. We'd love to knock a couple threes down. A couple shots in there for the Panthers to finish this off.
Alba with a miss on the 3 there. Prairie with the basketball. Vera on it, puts it in. And 1 coming up for Dana Vera, 5'6" junior. So it's time to start talking about our Adrenaline Fundraiser player of the game. Who do you, boy, they're just all over. Alex, what do you got for numbers?
The thing for Prairie is they do a lot. Everybody contributed to the total of 57 points. Still that third quarter by Brooke Walling, though, when she had 9 points. Great-looking lefty jumper. I think I have to start there for what about you guys, though? I'm going to say Brooke Walling for my pick, though. A total of 13 points through the game. She'd be the leading scorer, too.
Well, and that's the thing when you start talking 13 points, your leading scorer when you have 57. That's pretty impressive. So that tells you it's a whole team approach. It wasn't just one person that impressively.
Yeah, somebody didn't have 24.
Yeah, no, and which would be awesome and impressive if they did, but it wasn't somebody that just had a great hot shooting night and dropped in 25, 30 points. No, 13 points leading score means a lot of people in that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-point range that have chipped in to contribute to this team effort.
So I think we're going to go with Brooke Walling.
Yeah, Alex, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think she set the tone for them in rebounding as well. That just all around a pretty stellar player.
Inside a minute to go, and we'll get a chance, hopefully, to talk with our STSPN player of the game, brought to you by Adrenaline Fundraising. Brooke Walling, leading scorer for the Prairie Falcons. Snohomish with it, 15 on the shot clock. Outside jumper won't go. Kendall Carson with the rebound. Kind of an errant outlet pass up the floor. It'll go out of bounds, and Snohomish will have it. With 30 on the shot clock, 37.9 on the game clock. Rogers brings it up. Alba. Deep in the corner again to Rogers. Closed off there. 14 on the shot clock. Long outside jumper that will not go by Hansen. Reset here for Snohomish. Shot clock is dead. Final 12 seconds of the game. Another 3. Rims out, won't go for Rogers. And that will just about be that. And it will be the Snohomish Panthers and the Prairie Falcons playing here on this Saturday afternoon. And the final score, Prairie 57 and Snohomish 18. And we will come back, talk with our Adrenaline Fundraising player of the game, Brooke Walling, as we continue from Snohomish right here on STSPN.com.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200+ national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Ball. You guys and Coach Boyer and I were talking the whole game, the way you guys like to move the ball around.
Yeah, we love getting our teammates open, and we go for great shots, not good shots, so we just really distributed the ball well tonight. So.
Is that something? I'm going to put my mic down there. Is that something you guys talk about, you practice? Is that something that really appreciate you by your coaching staff to make sure it's a team effort?
Oh, yeah, we work on it every day in practice. We played with each other for so long that we know that if I'm not 100% open, someone else is. So
to talk about your teammates, who are your favorite teammates? Who are your other starters? Talk about each one of them.
I've played with Cass for such a long time, and so we play really, really well together. But Allie and Ken, this is our first year having Kendall play because she was a transfer. So it's been really nice to have her out there. And Allie and Mallory worked so hard, and we just worked together really well, and it worked out really well tonight.
So talk a little about having an assistant coach like Ashley Corral. I mean, I'm sure you guys know what kind of player she was and what she's done and kind of history that, she's had at Prairie, herself.
Right.
Having that kind of an expertise of someone that's played that's younger. Talk a little about that, what she brings to you guys as a coach.
Well, she's definitely someone we look up to. I mean, she was extremely good. She played really, really well throughout her entire career, and it's just really nice having her on the coaching staff so she helps us out and we can trust her, and she just knows a lot. And she's been there. She's been through what we're doing right now, so it's just really nice having her there.
Long-term goals for you, are you looking – where are you going? You're heading for?
Fresno State.
Fresno State.
Yeah.
When did that decision?
I love the coaching staff there. I love the campus. The minute I set foot on the campus last year for my unofficial visit, I felt like I belonged there. And so I took a couple more visits, and then I decided to commit. So I'm just super excited. But for the team this year, we got to win state and then, take care of business here, then so I can go on and play.
Ultimate goal is win state?
Yep.
Is that written down somewhere?
Yep, it is. It's in our standards and our goals for the season. So
very cool. Well, good luck on that.
Thank you.
There you go. That is our player of the game.
Thanks.
We got a shirt. We're going to get a picture as well. Again, that is Brooke Walling, our player of the game. Again, brought to you by Adrenaline Fundraising. Final score: the Prairie Falcons 57, the Snohomish Panthers 18. For Joel Boyer and Alex Clausius and Todd Elvig at the controls, I'm Tom Lafferty. Again, thanks for being with us here on STSPN.com. Again, the final score, Prairie 57, Snohomish 18. Good afternoon, everybody. NBA free ball. He just absolutely drains that one.